Think you're doing everything right for your health? Think again. 99% of seniors have no idea that simple daily habits, things you do without even thinking, are quietly shrinking your brain, destroying your memory, and putting you on a fast track to dementia. In this video, we're exposing the 7 most dangerous everyday habits that are silently sabotaging your brain health, ranked from concerning to absolutely devastating. Each one is backed by cutting-edge research and shocking statistics. Stick around until the end, because habit number 1 increases your dementia risk by 50% and damages your hippocampus in ways that may never fully heal. But before we dive in, let us know in the comments, what's the one habit you know you should change but haven't yet? We're reading and replying to every single comment. Habit number 7. Sitting too much. The average adult sits for 6.5 hours per day, and all this chair time does devastating damage to your brain. A 2018 study in PLOS1 found sitting too much is linked to changes in a section of the brain essential to memory. Researchers used MRI scans to look at the medial temporal lobe, a brain region that makes new memories, in people ages 45 to 75. They discovered that people who sat the most showed visible shrinkage in the exact part of their brain responsible for forming new memories. Here's what's happening. When you sit for hours, blood pools in your lower body instead of circulating to your brain. Less blood means less oxygen and fewer nutrients reaching the cells that keep your mind sharp. Think of it like slowly choking your brain with a soft pillow. The fix is simple but powerful. Move after 15 to 30 minutes of sitting. Set an ongoing timer on your phone as a reminder. Walk around the house, do push-ups against the kitchen counter, bang out several squats, or take a quick power walk. Even 2-minute movement breaks can restart blood flow to your brain and protect those precious memory-forming cells. Your brain will reward this focus with sharper thinking and better recall. Habit number 6. Social isolation. Loneliness isn't just emotional, it's brain poison for seniors. Studies show that loneliness and social isolation are associated with higher risks for health problems, such as heart disease, depression, and cognitive decline. But here's what most people don't understand. Loneliness literally rewires your brain for danger. When you feel socially isolated, your brain goes into self-preservation mode, treating everyday life like a constant threat. It is thought that loneliness may contribute to cognitive decline through multiple pathways, including physical inactivity, symptoms of depression, poor sleep, and increased blood pressure and inflammation. The numbers are shocking. Loneliness has been found to increase the risk of developing dementia by as much as 20%. In fact, loneliness has an influence similar to other well-established dementia risk factors, such as diabetes, hypertension, physical inactivity, and hearing loss. A meta-analysis found that high levels of loneliness, infrequent social contacts, and low-level group participation increase the risk of dementia by approximately 50%. But here's the hope. You don't need to interact with many people to reap benefits. Find 2 or 3 people with whom you can share anything. Text or call them regularly or set up weekly video chats. Early results from a clinical trial of almost 200 adults, age 75 and older, showed that regular internet calls could help lower the risk of cognitive decline and social isolation. Your brain craves connection. Don't let isolation steal your memories. Habit number 5. Poor sleep hygiene. If you're getting less than 7 hours of sleep or your sleep is fragmented and restless, you're slowly poisoning your brain. Studies have shown that both insufficient sleep and sleeping longer than average can increase your likelihood of developing dementia. It is recommended that people over the age of 65 get 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night. Here's why poor sleep is so devastating. During deep sleep, your brain activates what scientists call the glymphatic system, essentially your brain's garbage disposal. This system washes away toxic proteins, including beta amyloid and tau, that build up during the day. When you don't get enough quality sleep, these toxins accumulate like sludge in a clogged drain, leading directly to memory problems and dementia. Poor sleep quality in older adults can be related to lifestyle changes that often come with aging. For example, retirement may lead to a less structured sleep-wake schedule. Other significant life changes, such as loss of independence and social isolation, can increase stress and anxiety, which also contribute to sleep issues. But there's more. Poor sleep fragments your memory consolidation, the process that turns short-term memories into long-term storage. Without proper sleep, your brain can't organize what you learned during the day. The fix: reduce bedroom distractions like televisions, smartphones, and bright lights. Keep electronics out of the bedroom and reserve it for sleeping only. If you're struggling to fall asleep, try practicing meditation, disconnecting from devices, and avoiding big meals before bed. Remember, every night of poor sleep is another night your brain can't clean itself. Those toxins build up, and eventually, they steal your memories. Habit number 4, multitasking. If you're proud of juggling multiple tasks at once, we have bad news. Multitasking after 60 is like forcing your brain to run a marathon while wearing concrete shoes. What feels productive is actually fragmenting your attention and accelerating cognitive decline. Here's what really happens. Your brain doesn't actually do two things at once. It rapidly switches between tasks, and each switch comes with a cognitive cost. For seniors, whose brains already process information more slowly than younger adults, this constant task switching creates mental exhaustion and memory failure. The prefrontal cortex, your brain's CEO that manages attention and working memory, gets flooded with competing demands. Studies show that seniors who regularly multitask have more difficulty filtering out irrelevant information, show slower processing speeds, and demonstrate poor memory consolidation. They're also more likely to make errors and forget important details. Every time you check your phone while watching TV, cook while listening to the news, or try to have a conversation while reading, you're asking your aging brain to perform at levels that can cause stress and long-term cognitive wear. The solution is ruthlessly simple: single tasking. Choose one activity and give it your complete attention. Read without the TV on. Cook without answering emails. Have conversations without checking your phone. Quality attention beats divided attention every time, especially when your brain needs all the help it can get. But before we continue, if you have been enjoying the video so far, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss more videos like this. Habit number 3, eating ultra-processed foods. Those convenient packaged meals, snacks, and ready-to-eat foods aren't just bad for your waistline. They're literally shrinking your brain. A 2022 study of 11,000 dementia-free people found that middle-aged participants who ate the most junk food had a faster rate, up to 28%, of cognitive decline compared with those who ate the least junk food. Adults who consumed the most processed food experienced a 25% faster decline in their ability to plan and execute an action, known as executive function. Executive function is what helps you organize thoughts, make decisions, and complete complex tasks. Exactly the mental skills you need to stay independent as you age. Ultra-processed foods tend to be lower in nutrients and fiber and higher in sugar, fat, and salt. Examples include soda, packaged cookies, chips, frozen meals, flavored nuts, and fast foods. Even packaged breads, including those high in whole grains, qualify as ultra-processed because of additives and preservatives. Why are these foods so toxic to the brain? High intake of sugar and junk foods leads to impaired memory, mood disturbances, and increased risk of neurodegenerative diseases. These dietary habits lead to chronic inflammatory processes in the brain, a key factor in cognitive decline. The inflammation these foods trigger disrupts communication between neurons, interferes with memory formation, and accelerates the buildup of toxic proteins associated with dementia. Research shows that people with diet-related health conditions like heart disease, high blood pressure, and diabetes are more likely to experience cognitive decline as they age. The solution isn't complicated. Try eating a clean diet for 2 to 3 weeks, cutting out all processed foods and sugar. See how you feel. Then slowly introduce foods back into your diet, one by one. Your brain needs real food, whole foods that don't come with ingredient lists longer than paragraphs. Habit number 2, ignoring hearing loss. If you've been putting off that hearing test or refusing to consider hearing aids, you're not just missing conversations, you're accelerating brain shrinkage at a dangerous rate. Untreated hearing loss is one of the most significant modifiable risk factors for dementia. Here's the devastating truth. When you can't hear properly, your brain starts working overtime to fill in the gaps. The auditory processing centers strain to decode muffled sounds, and this extra effort steals resources from other critical brain functions like memory, attention, and reasoning. Research shows that untreated hearing loss leads to measurable brain atrophy, actual shrinkage in areas responsible for sound processing and memory. When parts of your brain aren't getting stimulation from clear sound input, they literally start to waste away. The social isolation that comes with hearing loss makes everything worse. When you can't hear well in restaurants or group conversations, you start avoiding these situations, which triggers loneliness and accelerated cognitive decline. Even mild hearing loss doubles your risk of dementia. Moderate hearing loss triples it. Severe hearing loss increases your risk by 5 times. The earlier you lose your hearing, the more years you spend with your brain working inefficiently. The tragedy is, this is preventable. Modern hearing aids don't just amplify sound. They deliver clear, processed audio directly to your brain, reducing cognitive load. Studies show that people who use hearing aids show slower rates of cognitive decline and better memory performance than those who ignore their hearing loss. If you've noticed you're asking people to repeat themselves, turning up the TV volume, or feeling exhausted after social events, don't wait. Every month you delay treatment is another month of unnecessary brain strain. Habit number 1, chronic stress. This is the silent brain killer that affects nearly every senior, but gets overlooked because it feels normal. Chronic stress, not brief pressure, but ongoing worry about health, finances, or family, is literally dissolving your brain from the inside out. Animal and human evidence demonstrates that glucocorticoids, the main class of stress hormones, are strongly linked to memory performance, whereby elevated levels are associated with memory decline in both normal and pathological cognitive aging. Adults in their 40s and 50s with higher levels of cortisol performed worse on memory and cognitive tasks than peers with average cortisol levels. Higher cortisol in the blood was also associated with smaller brain volumes. When you're constantly worried, your body pumps out cortisol, your primary stress hormone. Cortisol is supposed to be temporary, but when stress becomes chronic, cortisol becomes constant poison circulating through your brain. Furthermore, in healthy seniors, higher cortisol levels show detrimental relationships with brain regions typically affected by Alzheimer's disease. Your hippocampus, the brain's memory center, is especially vulnerable. High cortisol literally shrinks this region, kills neurons, and disrupts new memory formation. Several findings link chronic stress and elevated cortisol to risk for dementia in elderly individuals. Recent animal studies found stress and cortisol associated with Alzheimer's disease changes, including synapse loss and increases in toxic amyloid and tau proteins. The research is clear. Older rats with high stress hormone levels chose correct directions only 58% of the time, compared with low-stress rats who chose correctly 80% of the time. High-stress rats had 20% fewer synapses. Prolonged, highly stressful experiences were associated with conversion from mild cognitive impairment to dementia. Many seniors accept chronic stress as part of aging, thinking constant worry is just how life is after 60. But your brain can't tell the difference between being chased by a tiger and lying awake worrying about medical bills. The stress response is the same, and damage accumulates day after day. The solution starts with recognizing chronic stress isn't inevitable. Simple stress management, deep breathing, meditation, regular exercise, social connection, and counseling when needed can literally save your brain. The good news is that stress habits can be the easiest to change. Don't let worry steal your golden years. Your brain deserves protection, not constant attack. So there you have it. 7 everyday habits that are quietly stealing your brain health after 60. Sitting too much, social isolation, poor sleep hygiene, multitasking, eating ultra-processed foods, ignoring hearing loss, and chronic stress. Most seniors are doing at least 4 of these every day without realizing the damage. But here's the hopeful truth. The Pointer study results showed that adopting healthy lifestyle habits, exercise, diet, and social stimulation improved thinking and memory skills in adults in their 60s and 70s who were at increased risk of cognitive decline and dementia. Your brain has remarkable healing power, even after 60. It's never too late to reap benefits from healthier choices, but the earlier you start, the better. Every habit you change is a victory for your brain. Every choice you make today determines how sharp, independent, and vibrant you'll be tomorrow. Which of these habits surprised you the most? And more importantly, which one are you going to tackle first? Let us know in the comments below. We're reading and replying to every single one. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe with notifications on. Don't let these silent brain thieves steal your future. Your mind is worth protecting, and it's never too late to start. Thanks for watching, and remember, your brain health is in your hands.